probably gonna edit this like every now and then. This is the worst camera angle ever. I get that, but I guess I'm just here to talk my thoughts and whatnot because it's good to just talk sometimes. And I don't think we really talk about like dreams a lot, especially when it comes to growing up and whatnot. I'm in a strong majority that I feel like dreams are supposed to die some days, and not in like a wicked or bad way, but more of a you change, your perspective change, your lifestyle change, your drive change. It's okay to fall off that cliff sometimes. It's perfectly fine to just fall out the way, fall out the path that you set for yourself. That is okay. It's okay to fail. It's really okay. I don't think, in our society, we don't really, especially now, we don't really, have that perspective. I know cancel culture, and I'm really talking about social media space, but let's just stay on the social media space. I know cancel culture is, I believe, it's a good thing because you call people out when they BS and whatnot. But I also feel like it's a dangerous thing sometimes because it don't let people just be people. Yes, I know. They don't let horrible people be horrible people, which is great. But also don't let, sometimes people who have good intention be horrible. And, sometimes I feel like that. And, just back to the point of, your dreams dying. I definitely feel like that when it comes to that. I feel like people are really afraid to, fail. I'm talking about, fail hard. You down on your luck, and whatnot. Oh, man. But, yeah. I mean, that's how I personally feel about dreams and whatnot. Especially, growing up. YouTubers were really popular. PewDiePie, Markiplier. For me, it was, what was his name? I used to watch him a lot. I forgot. But he's probably got canceled somewhere. But, it's great. When you growing up, especially in those days, early 2010s and 2000 and whatnot, when YouTube was really people are making money. It was a sign. It was a sign film. It's wait a minute, I don't have to stress about college or anything. If I can become a YouTuber, if I can record myself doing goofy things, and then I find myself I'm funny. I think I could be famous like them, or I could be consistent like them, or I could be like them. But then you realize as you grow up, as you go and whatnot, it's hard. I wouldn't be lying. Do I still want to be? No, actually, I am lying. Do I still want to be famous off a video? Not really. Trending is to me, it's toxic. It's once people trend, it's they just trying to make it them, But I don't personally like trending. But what I do like is I do like money. I think everyone can agree on that. Yeah, I know money is pretty evil, and I get that. But also, ask someone who work a 9 to 5 and then go to their night shift. You ask them, oh my God, do you want more money? Yes. It's a hard balance. And I know, I keep saying we live in a day and age, but we really do live in a day and age with billionaires and everyone is well respected. Not well respected, but well looked at. Not well looked at, but very looked at to the point where we know what they're doing. We know they're building data centers. We know they're doing a lot of stuff. And, that's it. It's just money brings attention. But sometimes it don't, because we still got billionaires out here that no one knows about. You don't have to, tell people. You don't have to tell people about money. You don't have to tell people about anything. If y'all watch Kobe Kenshin and every time he comes back to YouTube, he always hits you with that. Sorry guys, I was doing this. Honestly, if I was Corey, I'm not explaining myself. I left. So what? I'm back. That's the thing about it though. He have an audience, he have expectations, and people want him to just speak on it, speak about it. But I personally really don't care about all that. But on a just on a lighter side, let's talk about MMA real quick, because I'm a huge sports fan. Specifically, I'm a huge combat sport fan. I'm more of a UFC fan. The only reason I don't really watch like Pride and Glory and all that stuff is because it don't really like come on like natural channels, and to be honest, with promotions not really like that. Like, they don't really promote themselves. They just pull up a poster and say, you know, Horiguchi is fighting Saka, whatever. But yeah, you know, I love MMA, but you know, I was watching Big Time MMA, and he was doing the top 20 GOAT list. I respect it. You know, it's his opinion. You know, it's his way of thinking. You know, everyone have a different top 10 everything, or top 20 everything. So I'm not really gonna judge him that hard. But it's funny that like he put Islam like first, because in my mind, and I know I'm about to get a lot of like head terms like, what is he talking about? But in my mind, Islam, I'm not impressed with Islam wins. I'm just not. You know, we start off with like Dan Hooker, okay, Volk, okay. You know, I think Volk did a great job, and I think that fight could have gone 50-50. Volk the second time, short notice, I don't really count that. Charles Oliveira, just not impressed. And I forgot who else. Whoever else, I'm just not impressed. JDM, I'm kind of impressed, but at the same time, not really. And I'll explain why I'm not impressed. Because, you know, in MMA, it's you are a jack of all trades, but you don't have to master none of them. All you have to do is master one of them to even. And I'm talking about to even be like champion. You know, Demetrius Johnson said it the best. It's easy to be a UFC champion than a boxing champion. And that's true. Because if you think about it, UFC or mixed martial art or whatever, it's like rock, paper, scissors. It's like rock, paper, scissors. You know, of course, rock beat scissors. Scissors beat paper, and paper beat rock. You know, you will always have that kryptonite and whatnot. So, you know, Islam is a it's a wrestler, like a wrestler. You know, Dagestanian. You know, everything. You know, 2 years in Dagestan, forget about it. You know, he's that. So when he do go up against people who I haven't really seen wrestle, you know, like a Dan Hooker or a Volk or Charles Oliveira. And yes, Charles Oliveira do not wrestle. He, judo, or not judo, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, whatever. But, when I see that, it's like, oh, snap. Like, dang. Like, yeah, of course he's going to win. And even JDM, yeah, mate who do this at JDM, I get that. But, even to JDM, I wasn't really impressed. I know it's like JDM did a lot of good stuff with Bilal Muhammad. No offense to Bilal Muhammad, I remember the name, but no offense. He's Bilal Muhammad. He's not Islam much. Like, he's not Islam. Like, come on now. So, when I look at that, I'm like, whoa. Now, don't get it twisted. It's impressed that Islam went up weight class. But, again, I'm still not that impressed. I'm just not impressed. I'm more of a person who gets impressed when you actually using the skills. Islam don't really strike. I know what people say is like, he's actually an underrated striker. I don't think he is. I think he's only underrated, or I think his striking only look good is because he's wrestling. Of course, when you face a wrestler, you're not really worried. Like, you're more worried about, like, I gotta move around, I gotta make sure, whatnot. I haven't really seen anyone trade with Islam, except Volk that first time, and honestly, Islam was in trouble. And, I still want to see him fight, I forgot his name, I can't pronounce his name, but the dude who just fought Dan Hooker, Ahmad, whatever his name is. I think it's ARMEN, whatever. But I wouldn't really see him fight him because he is actually a wrestler. We've seen him wrestle, and he's really good at it. So I'm thinking about the scramble attempts and whatnot. To be honest, and maybe I'm ignorant, can you name any wrestlers Islam fought? Like, and we see that a lot. It's like we see if a wrestler fight a wrestler, it's one of the most competitive thing ever because you both know what y'all doing. Like, think about it. Like Kamaru Usman versus Colby Covington. Great fight. They had to strike because no matter what, they wrestling just out. It just stayed there. But then you get, like, for example, Kamaru Usman versus Khamzat. That fight was really competitive, actually. And only because Kamaru Usman knew how to wrestle. Like, Khamzat never fought a wrestler. Let me see. He fought Kevin Holland, Duplessis. Okay. Gilbert, whatever his name is. Gilbert. He fought him, and guess what? It was a close fight. It was a close fight because they are wrestlers. Wrestles. Like, you know, with me? Oh, sorry, someone was honking their horn at me. But, you know, they are like real, like, high class. What is he doing, you know? Okay. They are really high class wrestlers. You know? So, when we talk about the greatest of all time in MMA, and again, I have no rights to really talk about it because I'm a huge MMA fan, but I really never got into the dibble dabble of like, oh, that's a nice armbar, or oh, that's tight, you know, on some Joe Rogan stuff. But yeah, I just, you know, when we talk about the greatest of all time, I look at skill sets. I look at how many fighters have they fought when it comes to skill sets, when it comes to, oh crap, like this person is good at everything. Because when we talk about Demetrius Johnson, when we talk about John Jones, yes, I know steroids. When we talk about GSP, when we talk about other people, maybe like I don't know, I'm not tossing no old heads in there like Boss Ruden or whatnot. I'm not tossing no old heads. But when we talk about them, no offense, and that's my hot take, I feel like the competition back then was a little bit better than now. Because I feel like now it's more specialist in one regard than like actual MMA people, like mixing the martial arts. I love when people mix the martial art. DJ did it great. GSP did it great. John Jones did it great. Like, I love when people mix the martial arts. Now again, am I saying, oh, you know, if you only wrestle, you suck? No, because guess what? Islam is a fantastic wrestler. Like, the fact that he can just bend his will onto people, impressive. And I do give him his flowers, but I'm just not impressed. I don't know. Next topic. Next topic, I guess, can be like what I hate. I hate streamers. I think everyone hates streamers now. I think they know, like, streamers just suck. But again, I feel like you don't hate them enough. I know that's a pretty wicked thought, but I don't really mean that, because I don't think these people should be getting hate personally, but I just think their antics is very like, oh god, like it's like a live theater performance all the time, but it's actually real life. Like, you know, a lot of people, especially kids, they use like yo chat or anything. It's weird to me. And honestly, I would say this: it's only weird to me because I really don't understand it. I don't understand the hype, and that's an old head type of argument. But yeah, I just don't understand, like, why is this entertaining to people? You know, what was entertaining to me was like YouTube spoof, if people recognize that. And I'm pretty sure if my parents, you know, look back at it, if I asked them, you know, did you like any of like the stuff I liked, you know, back then, they'd be like, no, because I didn't get it. And I get that. I think we come to the day and age, yeah, that's my third time saying that. I think we come to a day and age where we're just getting old. You know, stuff I'm not understanding, I'm pretty much hating on it. Like, I'm not trying to hate on streaming because, you know, get your money, first of all. And second of all, it looked fun. It looked like they just jumping around, they having a good time, and whatnot. I have no problem with that. I kind of do have a problem with like they making a lot of money off of it, and that's another reason. A lot of people won't talk about it, but it's okay to be jealous of someone, especially if they're making something you feel like, why are they making this? Like, I'm doing like important work too. Why am I not making the same amount? Why I'm not getting the same attention? Sometimes I creep into that jealousy thought, which is, in my opinion at least, it's okay for that to creep in, because you're human. We live with 7 or 8 billion other humans. Of course we're going to compare ourselves. Of course we're going to be like, why am I not there when they are there? Like, I want to be there. I just want to have money and whatnot. But, you look at it and you just like, man, it's hard to just stay on your own path. It's hard to not compare yourself. It's hard to believe in yourself sometimes too. It's just hard, especially as an adult, because now it's like, doesn't matter if you believe in yourself or not, you have to go out there and be an adult. That's hard. As a kid, when you don't believe in yourself, you go on a journey. You can like find yourself. You can go to college. You can explore. As an adult, I'm not saying you can't explore, but the context of it is really hard. It's like, well, man, I got babies. I got bills. It's like I can't explore nothing. I can't escape in a way. And a lot of people, especially people with mental health illnesses and whatnot, that it's that feeling of being like there, sometimes being stuck. And when you watch, not just streamers or YouTubers, when you watch your other peers, like, hey man, I bought a house at this age, and I'm like, wow, I'm this age, I didn't buy a house. Well, hey man, I'm a father. Well, should I be a father? Or whatnot. And you really look at that, and you just wonder, like, wow, like, what am I doing with my life? But that's the key thing. It's your life. You do whatever you want to it. Not everyone's going to have the same thing, and you don't know how the grass is on the other side. It might look green, but it actually might just be fake. Yes, money do help stability, but it still won't help happiness. You can buy stuff, you can't buy what you need, and that's like, I don't know, whatever you need sometimes you just can't buy it. And it's okay to be jealous. I think a lot of people on here and just life is too afraid to admit, like yes, I don't get why you have this, I should have that. That's okay. At least to me, that's okay. I mean, you're gonna get jealous, you're gonna get hateful, you're gonna get angry. Like, that's the thing about the internet, and that's what a lot of people don't realize. These people are lying to you. Like, these people who says, like for example, these people who react to stuff, be like, guys, this is my first reaction. It's not. It's not. Even if it is or not, who cares? Just watch it. Like, who cares? You can hide anything on the internet. You could be like, hey guys, so I make $1 billion. Who would know? You can research, but like, who would really know? Like, come on now. But then, sometimes real life will leak into the internet. But that's besides the point. The point is, it's like, I think a lot of people on the internet is afraid to like be like vulnerable. I'm not really talking about like when I was 6, I was not that type of vulnerable, but vulnerable is like, oh my God, like I'm wrong, but I really don't care if I'm wrong. I'm just say it, and then they get like, sorry guys, I wasn't thinking. No, they was thinking. They was thinking the same thoughts and everything. Trust me, they made a video, they uploaded and everything. They was thinking that. There's no such thing as like, oh, I wasn't thinking that. On the internet, where you can watch a video, you can show other people, you can do everything before uploading, you wasn't thinking? No, I'm not hearing that. And it's okay to be, sometimes it's okay to be a horrible person. Sometimes it is. Sometimes just get it out, say what you can, and be like, you know what? I was wrong. Sorry. And that's it. That's all you gotta say. You don't gotta seek forgiveness for random people on here. These are random people. They don't pay your bills. They don't know who you are. But you can admit to it. You can admit, like, all right, I'm sorry. That was wrong. Okay, let's move on. No harm, no foul, as long as no harm got, provided. No. If you harming people, yeah, that's wrong. No matter what. No matter what. But, I just feel like nothing is real anymore. I don't think nothing is real anymore. That's how I feel sometimes, though. But other days, I kind of do feel lost and everything. And, most of that because of money. And, I don't care what people say. The people who already have money and say, like, you don't need money, get out of here. Get out of here with that. Cut it out. Like, get out of here with that, man. I'm not saying you need money, but to have money, it's such a privilege. It is. It's a privilege to, like, have money. Some kids out here, when you don't have money, it's a whole stress about it. Especially in a household where like you don't have money, because you see your parents stressing, you see them not having time for you, and you see them like just struggling. When that struggle comes, in their mind they be like, well, I have to make this money. And while they making that money, they leave everything behind. They leave their kids' attention behind. They leave what they wanted to do behind. It's a lot. It's a lot of sacrifices when you don't have money. When you do have money, you can afford those sacrifices. Today I want to spend time with my kids. Okay, well, I can do that because my work, I make my own hours, Or today I want to buy a car. You can do that. Or, sorry, today my car broke down. I'll just fix it. But for the next person, my car broke down. I gotta miss work because I can't afford it. If I miss work, that's it. I mean, people really understand the struggle other people have. It's a hard reality. It is a hard reality. Especially when you're struggling. It's just that. It's a struggle. And, it's not anyone's fault if they was born with money. First of all, I hate when people make people feel bad because they got a little money in their pocket because, their family or whatnot. There's nothing bad about that. But it do show, like, a strong privilege. There's nothing wrong with privilege. That shows, like, well, I'm thankful. Like, I'm glad I have that privilege. I have privilege, and I'm thankful for those, It's that obvious in a way. I think I'm gonna wrap this one up. Before I wrap it up, I just want to say, just respect all black women in a way. I know that's like, what is he talking about? Respect all black women. I know we live in a day and age where, like, a lot of people are just people and offending each other and whatnot. Personally, I really do hate how people treat black women. I think it's awful. I think, they work hard enough. Like, statistics show that black women are getting fired left from right this year, all because of Trump and his initiation of, like, DEI and whatnot. Not just DEI, but other stuff, other factors as well. Black women are getting fired a lot. And, I got to do my research on why and how. But it sucks. And, of course I got bias. I was raised by a black woman, And, black women. And it sucks because no matter what, and that's what people don't really understand with history. Because, you got some ignorant people out here who be like, come on now, black women didn't even contribute to our history or whatnot. The thing about history is it's recorded. When women did anything, it's a popular theory saying that Shakespeare was a woman. It's a popular theory that Shakespeare was a woman. Not only Shakespeare was a woman, but Shakespeare, if he was a man, he stole all his writing from his sister. Shakespeare's sister wrote his stuff. And, in a way, I kind of believe that. And only because, I'll be honest, I just believe it. History is weird because history is what is recorded. The winner write history. Man has been winning the whole time, and not by design, by evilness and whatnot. Yes, that's obvious. Let's get over that. But yeah, I mean, think about it. Like, black women was fighting in wars and whatnot, and it wasn't recorded. So many. And you know what? That's what I'm gonna leave off at. Just recognize and whatnot. I'm out.